All right, so today we go to the Nanjing Massacre Memorial, which naturally took place right here in Nanjing. Now I want to start by saying, as per the recommendations on the website, children under the age of 14 are up to your discretion if you want to bring them or not. With that being said, we're not intending on showing you the most graphic images. We are on YouTube after all, so we're not trying to get demonetized and then have YouTube not promote the video. Our intention is for as many people to see the video as possible, because this event is part of World War II, and yet I think a lot of people, especially in the West, don't know about it. So we're gonna take you on a full tour of the memorial without showing you the most shocking images, is our intention. So with that being said, I'm a little nervous. Do you have any feeling, Ivana?
No, I don't know what to expect.
Fair. I'm a little nervous because, sorry. And so I guess no video with the big camera, only with the cell phone. Now, as I was saying, I think stuff like this is good and important to show. We've done videos at Auschwitz in Poland. We did a video at Unit 731, also in China. But still, before I go in, there's a feeling of sort of nervousness, because although it's real and important, it's tremendously sad. So anyway, let's go inside. $300,000 victims is truly a staggering amount, and actually it's the same number that I read on Wikipedia. Now, you've probably heard that Wikipedia is banned in China, so I was a bit nervous that maybe there was one version of history on Wikipedia and then the real version here in the memorial. So it's sort of nice to see that Wikipedia, at least in the amount of total victims, is accurate information. And actually, I'm really impressed with this museum in terms of how the information is laid out. Here you can see the national strength as well as the military strength of both China and Japan in 1937, where you can see that China had a lot more soldiers than Japan, but Japan had huge numbers in the Air Force and Navy. And it's interesting to see a lot of the historical monuments that Ivana and I saw in our Nanjing tour, including the city wall, were used in the war or in the battle. In fact, this piece of the Nanjing wall could very well be the same piece of the wall we walked on, where it was beautiful and tourist friendly and vibrant, although the history is pretty dark. And so the fall of Nanjing happened on December 12th, 1937. Now in Canada, we're taught that World War II started in 1939. So I guess most accurately, the fall of Nanjing happened in the theater to World War II, or sort of the lead up to World War II. And in fact, China refers to this time as the Japanese War of Aggression. So I guess after December 12th, when Nanjing fell, that's when the massacre began. And so for context, the most historical single day of my life that I can remember vividly was September 9/11, where something like 3,000 people died. Meaning here at the Nanjing Massacre, it's more than 100 times as deadly. And in fact, so many people died that they couldn't possibly recover all the bodies. And so what they do is they put these jars of dirt, where this dirt was collected from a place where many bodies were found. And so some of these jars of dirt represent 50,000 people. Is staggering, is overwhelming to even be here. 300,000 is such a big number, and it's important to remember that these were not 300,000 soldiers who were killed by bombs being dropped during a war. These were 300,000 civilians, including women and children, who were slaughtered in the streets after Nanjing had fallen and surrendered, simply because they were from Nanjing. Ready? And so it doesn't take you a very long time to go through the museum. For us, it was about an hour, which I guess is fitting because the entire massacre only lasted less than 3 weeks, which means 300,000 people died in 3 weeks. It's like more than 10,000 per day. It's hard to wrap your mind around. Now, in conclusion, I'm going to try to say something on a positive note. Growing up in Toronto, you have a lot of people from all over the world. So I had friends from all over the world in my elementary school, including Chinese friends, Chinese Canadians. And if you allow me to generalize, typically Chinese Canadians are the top students. They get really good marks. They focus really hard on their studies. They speak 2 languages at least, and usually have another special skill, sports or piano or something. And so they're sort of model students, model youngsters in general. And maybe I'm reading too much into it, but what happened in Nanjing certainly stands out in Chinese history. It stands out in world history. But the Japanese war of aggression was across many cities in China. And there was real suffering in many cities in China prior to and throughout World War II. And so I think for generations, Chinese parents have been strict, and they really want their children to work tremendously hard, because this type of suffering for me is only unimaginable, where for them they lived through it. And so maybe that's why everywhere you go, Chinese students are top of the class, good business owners, successful people, because they've struggled through something so difficult, and now they're hardworking and capable people. Make sense, Ivana?
Yes, I agree. And I like the last word that we see when we're going out of the museum.
A big installation about peace.
Yes.
And a bunch of quotes about how Chinese people are not vengeful, but they want the history to be known so it doesn't happen again.
Right.
Which is fair and good. So there you have it, guys. Probably a short video today, but an important one, I think. And next week, we'll be in Korea, where in Seoul, they have the War Memorial of Korea. I think we'll do a similar video over there, just learning history.
Right.
Because in Canada, you don't always learn the Asian history. Even in World War II, we learn the European side of it mostly. So we're curious about this stuff, and we're grateful for you guys watching, and
Peace.
peace.